Welcome back in, everybody, to a Monday edition of Birds 365. Joined now by Chris Franklin, who's working on the camera. Chris, we appreciate you checking in after a long Sunday night game where Saquon Barkley dominated the headlines. Brandon Graham is out. Birds winners of 7 straight and now 9-2 on the year. Welcome to the show, Chris Franklin. How you doing on this Monday morning?
Just going. Just kidding. I was like, gotta love those like games, but it's all good. It's worth it though because we got to solve history, so that's what made it even better.
There you go.
It is, man. Nine games where 255 yards or more. Obviously, the Eagles have been around for 9 decades. They've never seen a performance like that in franchise history. One of the most, I said today, Chris, if they took the vote today, Saquon Barkley would be the MVP, I believe, of the NFL. And I still say, yeah, but that offensive line. I'm like Nick. Nick brought it up. My God, they're good. My God, they're good.
Yeah, and I think it wasn't so much just what they did, not only the power and the way they were able to knock the Rams off the defensive line, like sometimes 2-3 yards downfield, 5, sometimes in some cases. I think it was the way they were able to adjust because when you look at the way the Rams came out and they were trying to, the way they were trying to attack them, they were trying to do what the Commanders did, try to put as many guys as the line of scrimmage to try to break through. Yeah, once you got past them, once they figured that out, it was game over for them. And listen, when you look at that Rams team, that defensive line with Verse and everybody else, they're really, really good. But
they're really good, but they're really undersized, Chris.
Yep.
I mentioned that coming into the game, and I'm like, I don't know. I think styles make fights, and they don't match up well with this Eagles offensive line. It's rare, but I got one right.
Yeah, he's undersized, but I'll give Verse credit. He did something I've never seen, and that's completely destroy Jordan. I've never seen Mailata get hit like that. He got whether I know people were talking about whether he jumped a little early, but he wrecked Mailata on that play. That was impressive.
I'll do something what the official should have done before that game. Offsides, defense, whatever they was doing, because you see like it right because if you get the guy in the right spot, like any person, if you get the right leverage on there, you can push him back that way. But he was kind of offsides.
And by the way, it probably cost Jared Verse because we haven't. I don't know about you, but I haven't rewatched the game. When I rewatched the game, see the all 22, I bet you they beat the crap out of Jared Verse for the rest of that game. For getting a little bit of a hit on Jordan Mailata, but overall, I mean, and I really think if you go all the way back to the draft, Chris, if Troy Fautanu fell to the Eagles, I think they were going to take him at 2022. So the 22, not 2020. At 22 overall. So the impact of that is twofold. One, you don't have Quinyon Mitchell, who's been arguably the defensive rookie of the year. But B, you don't have Mekhi Becton. Howie gets a lot of crap for the Bryce Huff signing, although the Eagles need Bryce Huff badly. We're going to talk about Brandon in a second. Mekhi Becton has been great at guard. Great. This big physical presence. He had the big block on Saquon's second touchdown run. He's the final piece of the puzzle. They were already great. And now you got this massive guy who can block out the sun, and you're even more physical. How good is that signing?
Yes, it is good. And then another domino is, like you mentioned beforehand, 99 Quinyon Mitchell. Then I think teams know you're desperate to try to get a cornerback, and maybe you don't have an extra draft pick. The Commanders trying to fleece you for that too. So you got that in there. But yeah, he's a guy. I know we talk so much about Zach Bond and the contract he's going to get. He's a guy who's making himself a lot of money as well too. A lot.
Yeah.
And this point where you're like, oh, this is good. But he's been. I had questions about how quickly if he was going to be as good as he could be on that right guard spot, and he's answered all of them. I think he's learned the whole leverage, the whole way of playing in that tight space. I was worried about like, such a bigger body. Does he affect the quarterback when he's throwing? Does he Troy is able to move out? He's been playing well, and then see the confidence starting to gain more and more as it goes along, and to the point where you're like, he might be in this conversation for one of the better right guards, like one Pro Bowl spot. He's played that well.
I know.
It's I don't know if he's going to get it or not, but for at least for the rest of this regular season and playoffs now, I think you got to enjoy what you have from that right side, and him. It also helps that you have a Lane that was able to help him, got him along too. So they're in a good spot along that whole entire offensive line, and it's a way for them to add having the guy that size and his speed and the quickness. And I like his nastiness. I mean, I remember earlier in camp when he pushed one of his teammates aside when doing a drill with one arm. The fact you have another guy like Mailata, like Johnson, Dickerson, even Cam Jurgens, he shows a lot too with that bully mentality. It's a big thing.
Chris, you think there's a real legitimate shot Saquon could be an MVP player this year in the league?
As long as Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, or any other guys we see in the commercials that are around. I know Saquon's got a commercial. I think
he's getting his own commercials. Yeah. What was that?
Yeah, he's trying to get him now.
Yeah, I think it was Uber Eats, John, or something.
Yeah. I don't think Saquon eats KFC either, but
no, he does not.
Because as long as it's the quarterbacks are going to get him as much as unless he beats Dickerson's record. I think if he beats the rushing record, I think there's a legit shot.
I think he's got a shot, but yeah, I mean,
what's the record? So 2,100, is that what it is?
2146, 2104. One of those things, 2104.
Yeah.
And outside, so he has to
even if he gets to 2,000, which he's got a legitimate shot at, he's got a chance, depending on, how Josh Allen and Lamar finish. If the quarterbacks finish well, the quarterback's going to win. It's become a quarterback award, unfortunately. But I think he's got a really good chance because it's a quarterback award first, but it's a statistic-based award second, and he's got all the stats you need to be deep in the conversation. But I don't think the Eagles care. I don't think Saquon cares because their goal is about winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
And this is a legitimate Super Bowl contender. But boy, I got to tell you, Chris, the biggest thing that can derail you, Doug Peterson used to talk about this. It's not injuries, it's multiple injuries at the same position. The Eagles now have multiple injuries at the same position. Edge rusher, Bryce Huff, maybe they get him back at the end of the year. Maybe they don't, but he's not going to be back soon. And now Brandon Graham out for the year. And by the way, what a game Brandon Graham played. What a game at 36. That's a big injury, Chris Franklin.
Yeah, and you look at the way, like it's arguably to me, I'm not to say this because they happened. I think he was the most consistent defensive edge rusher they had all season.
Oh yeah,
and that's even with Josh Sweat coming along, who we saw him had something. He was dealing with something with his ankle or foot or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he was getting something looked down there. So it's rough because it wasn't that many guys available when it happened as a free agent. Because I remember the trade, like, you'd have to give up something like Darius Smith, but we all knew he was pretty much going to the Lions, what have you. Brandon, I look at the way not only that Brandon Graham was able to play on the field, I think the biggest impact from you all, because you see, it's not only the way that he was playing. You look at the way guys like Nolan Smith were going to him beforehand, before the injury, before needing somebody like some whatever info or motivation, what have you. So not only do you lose that edge rushing speed, that quickness, what have you, to press the quarterback, now you got that. I know, say what you want about Bryce Huff too. He should say he just was flat out stunk for most of the year in terms of that. But you're hoping it's almost one of the things like, can you trust Bryce Huff? And I don't know. So I'm thinking about maybe do you take away some of those, not all of them, some of those pass rushing packages, blitz packages, and move Vaughn back over to the edge. Maybe if you did that. But I think also I wouldn't be surprised if you say you put Milton. You want to put your best guys
Milton,
on the line.
That's where I am. Milton.
Kick him out. I think still, because I'm worried about the wall when it comes to Alex Hunt. As much as they say they're trying to do that, kick Milton out. Maybe use Thomas Booker. a guy who's a little bit lighter, maybe use him on the edge, a little bit quicker as well too. But or maybe here's a weird one. Maybe you make a call out to some of these guys, like say, like, hey Fletch, what are you doing? You want to play D tackle and try to move Milton out there full? I don't know. There's too many different scenarios to go to, and I just hope it's nothing like, okay, we saw. I don't think Teron Jackson's going to get much. As much as I like Teron as a person, I don't know if they're going to elevate him and give him so much run.
Oh, Sean Mathis. He's the new guy, by the way.
Yeah. For how long? Because we know how much they churn that practice squad.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what.
Teron Jackson. I mean, Philly Don puts it in. Ray Diddy said a name to keep in mind is Teron Jackson. I've seen his name all over. You guys have seen more of him than I have. I don't know if he'll be any type of player that could take some snaps on this team.
Well, he's on the practice squad. They know him, so
Yeah, he played well enough. I mean, Carolina took a flyer. I think Carolina took a flyer on everybody earlier this year. They took a flyer on him, but he's familiar with the system. He's been on there for a while. He's been around that team for a while. He's been a practice squad or active out there. He's a former draft pick. If you need a depth guy,
he was a 6th rounder, wasn't it? I think he was a 6th rounder in 21. Yeah.
Chanticleer.
Patrick Johnson was a 7th rounder. Patrick ended up being. It would have been nice if they were able to keep Patrick Johnson.
That was the one. Yeah. That was the one where I think they were trying to make some moves for some guys. That's the one you look back now.
I sit there and I watch every week, and I love Nick Gates. I love Darian Kennard. You're not going to cut Trevor Keegan as a rookie. You got 3 offensive linemen that are inactive. You've lost Patrick Johnson. You've lost Jack Stoll. That's a legitimate criticism of Howie Roseman at this point. I mean, what is his fear of losing these guys?
The offensive line depth. I know we talk about and it goes back to, I think it's a downhill thing, because I think once you lost McMahon, you didn't have another center just in case. So you had to keep some of those guys. You had to keep like Gates and around in there, and you look at that, like I can see some of the tag, like Keegan, can only play, well, he's learning to tackle, but he's mostly a guard, so you can't really do that. You don't want to give up on him because you think he could fill in for the future. He's a guy you got to look at in case you lose Becton. So it's Casey. Johnson reminded me a lot of the Casey Suhill thing from a couple of years ago.
Yeah,
where he was a guy. He's a very productive guy who, like, he's young, and now you're looking back and like, ugh, you don't have it. There's not a lot, and that's the thing. I know. I know how much they try to use the practice squad and try to keep some of these guys, and you don't want to lose that depth at offensive on an offensive line, because we've seen how important it is over time. But yeah, I think as much as this team puts a lot on on the line of scrimmage, they should do some things with the defensive line and the edge rusher, and one of them, especially if that's one of the areas of concern that you have beforehand. It's a rough thing to do with. You don't go in like, I want to get these guys injured, so I'm going to get these guys. I want to worry about 53.
Yeah, I mean, you can't. Yeah, you can't. My only point is, veteran players like Nick and even Kennard, who's played a little bit. I don't know. Like, they're not. I get it for long term and how he's weighing those two things. And if you think somebody could be something long term versus a role player like a Jack Stoll or a Patrick Johnson, but they're going to help you like right now, and you're a Super Bowl team. I don't know. That's a difficult formula, but those were contributors to the team, legitimate contributors that they lost because they're worried about guys who aren't playing right now. And I thought the goal was the Super Bowl. So I think it's a legitimate criticism, maybe some nitpicking, but because what happens, by the way, Chris, when CJ Uzama's elevations run out, then you're going to add a tight end anyway, whether it's Uzama or EJ Jenkins, because his practice squad elevations are already expired. Then you have to cut somebody anyway. And he ended up losing Jack Stoll.
Or we get our dream and we get to see Tyler Steen at tight end, and then we can see a big man touchdown. Just saying.
Well, maybe.
They haven't once already. So but you're right. Yeah.
And Howie's probably listening to this. No, he's probably not. But he's probably listening to say, fuck McMullen. I'm going to keep these guys. But I think it's a legitimate criticism, man, because these guys, Patrick Johnson was a meaningful part of this team. And, special teams, one of their best special teams players, a good backup edge rusher, and voila, they need a good backup edge rusher right now. And they don't really have one.
Yeah, so I think we'll see. I know it's especially with going against some. Well, Vic Fangio's earned it, like especially this season with the job he's done with these guys.
Yeah.
I think it's one of the things where you see like, all right, let's test some things out. And I think we may see some more blitzing too, because these guys are getting worn out. You can't have Alex Hunt, Nolan Smith, and even Josh Sweat the way they play well. You can't have them out there for like 60 some snaps because they're not going to be as effective. So I think we're going to start seeing a little bit an uptick, not all the time, but I think you'll start seeing the uptick of the blitz. And you'd sure hope that when you face some of these veteran quarterbacks, i.e. Lamar, like this of all weeks, to lose Brandon Graham against Lamar Jackson,
on
that contain, not optimal in terms of that.
Because as impressive as those Rams young defensive front people are, they were not disciplined, and they lost contain on Jalen Hurts a bunch.
Yeah, that verse did that a couple times, John, where he tried to rush like a madman, and Jalen just easily stepped up and made him pay.
Yeah.
And
Brandon is very fundamentally sound, and he's gonna do his job. It's a big loss. It really is. And maybe even bigger, as Chris mentioned, off the field, because he's the thermostat of that entire freaking locker room. And I mean that. The entire organization. I've never met a bigger energy guy in my life, Chris Franklin. Ever.
That dude was I'll say he's some of the stuff like the interactions we all have with him in the locker room, that the way that everybody wants to talk to him, like he'll go from whether it's the equipment manager, whether it's the janitorial staff, or whether it's even like it's us to his teammates all the way up through. You can't find one person that would probably say something bad about him, because he's just that energy. You need a high motor guy. You need at least one of those guys there. And you try to look around to see who could fill that role. I mean, he's going to be on the sideline, barring his schedule, like say because he has a surgery on Friday.
Yeah.
So he's going to be on the sideline. But it's different when you're on the field, when you're in that huddle, when you need somebody who's been there before, who's won it, who knows what it takes on that field and reading that stuff. And I'm trying to think of like who could take over in terms of that. Maybe this is a time where you've been preparing Nakobe Dean to be that middle guy.
Nakobe's the guy. Yeah, he's a leader.
He's playing really good right now too, Nakobe Dean.
Yeah, he is. The way he's just seeing the field so much better, and the fact he remained healthy, that's helped him out a lot. Maybe
you get him running downhill too, Chris. He's pretty powerful for an undersized linebacker. He's
not undersized anymore. You can't say that. He really, when that was the silver lining, Chris, of his foot injuries. He came back. He's a monster in the upper body now. I guess he couldn't work out his lower body, so he was just he's short. I used to say the same thing about Darren Sproles, a running back. Now, Darren was really short. But when people would say Darren Sproles is undersized, he's not undersized. He's short. He was maybe the most powerful Eagles pound for pound when he was here in the weight room. He was a monster. And that's sort of like Nakobe. Now, he should not to that degree, but he's short, but he's not. He really bulked up in the offseason.
No, yeah, he did. I mean, BG is also kind of short, isn't he, John? I mean, he's a little
he's short,
a little short, but he's a stocky dude. He's not small.
Yeah, he's very stocky.
Yeah.
It's almost like when you look at him, it's in a way he's a lot like London Fletcher that terms, and he's a way he's. We always know he knows he's going to be able to read what the offense is trying to do. and he's filling it. The way I think that you look at it, not only the upper part of the body, he knows how to use that leverage, and the fact that you see him in goes in those places against those sitters and those guards, he's able to dip underneath and then explode up top. And so the point where you're like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, he gets his power, or there he just blows right by him. So he's got the power move, he's got the speed move, and trying to do that. He's effective.
Yeah, he ran. I don't think I've seen more people get run over in an NFL game. He ran over
Jeez.
Kyron Williams on the one blitz. Zander pointed out, I think Jared Verse was offside too, but Jordan Mailata was the rare instance where he was knocked over. There were a bunch of people getting run over last night. And that the offense, Landon Dickerson got the 2-for-1.
Oh
on
my
the first
God.
touchdown run.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the penalty on him, the late hit. That
Oh,
was
no.
such a ridiculous call.
Well, that's a nice NBA flop. That's a good job by the Rams guy.
I
Hey,
guess you're right. Yeah.
if it works, flop.
Chris, last question for me, man. A lot of talk we've had all year on this show and many other shows in the region about the offense and can they win versus the better teams with the running offense, and will Jalen be able to make the throws when he needs to make the throws? Has your thought process evolved on what this offense is? I think it's clear what they are. I mean, even AJ Brown was asked last night on the postgame show on the set for Sunday Night Football. You're a running team. How do you manage that as a star wide receiver? I think it's clear what the team is right now. You think they can win with this late in the year? I'm talking about reach their goals with this style of play, physical running game, manage the passing game, 170 something yards last night. So not a huge passing game. Can they win with this, Chris Franklin?
I think they can, because what's old is new. I think a lot of times so many teams we're worried about the passing game, going to 3-4, having 3-4-5 defensive backs they can use to cover it up. So that way you have these shorter guys. It's almost a way that you just go back and go, you know what? Let's just pound them in and just run over them. And I think we're seeing that now with this team in terms of that. And the thing is, you can maximize your play action. Once you maximize your play action, try to go deep and take your shots and if Jalen puts the ball in a good spot, especially in those areas, he's going to find. Last night was probably the second best game, if not the best, probably the second or third best game I've seen him do, because he was so decisive with the ball. He was able to put the ball in the right window, and you had that run game right. The way that the run game and the pass game is feeding off each other, that balance that we've been trying to we wanted to see last year, the threat of the run, at least that balance that you're seeing now is making it an offense that's unpredictable. When you have unpredictable offense that's not in third and longs forever, if they don't commit penalties such as the offensive offsides, come on, what's going on with that? But you do all the stuff like that for it. Don't shoot themselves in the foot. You got that balance, and that's what keeps it in them.
Yeah, they had 3 penalties on that drive, by the way, Chris. I forgot to bring up Nick Sirianni's goopy end of the half stop, too. I still can't figure that out. Why? After the sack, why aren't you calling a timeout? He lets the clock run, then he calls timeout with 33 seconds left. And
did he just get caught up in the moment there, John, and like almost brain fart, forgot to call a timeout there?
Yeah, I don't know. It's like if you want the ball, you call timeout when it's 3rd and 12, and you say, all right, we're getting the ball back. We're getting off the field. You got a minute 12, minute 10, somewhere in that range when they punt the ball. Instead, he let him run another play with the clock running, and they were down at 33 seconds, and he's still trying to score. Well, if you're trying to score, why not call timeout? And then the 7 seconds at the end of the half, what the hell was that? You gotta run that off.
Yeah, I don't get the quarterback run call on that one, and I think especially given Jake's struggles from deep, I understand why not to go at that time. Especially the first half, because he didn't block. We saw what happened before he tried to field goal before he got blocked, and they returned it back, give him momentum. So, yeah, there's questions, and there's some questions with that.
Doesn't matter because they won, though, so nobody cares. But I'd like to bring it up. At C. Franklin News, make sure you follow Chris on the X platform. NJ.com is where you can read him. Does a tremendous job. I see the Boss Cups bag, Chris. You already Christmas shopping? Is that my gift?
See the thing. Oh, I'm sorry. I give you guys the gift of smile, and what was it? It was South Park. The gift of song. The gift. Yeah, right now.
Chris, your
I just forgot to
presence is
clear that
good
out
enough for
beforehand.
me, brother.
I don't have any commercial deals or anything. I just forgot to take that bag out the shop before I throw it there. I was trying to find the spot. I'm so used to being outside. I was like, oh wait, never mind.
Yeah,
It's
it's too
actually
cold.
down too. So
It's too cold.
yeah,
Yeah,
that's just
too
I just
chilly
forgot
this
that
morning.
All right, buddy.
All right, Chris, thanks for checking in, man. We appreciate it, brother.
Thank you guys. Have a good one.
Thanks,
All right,
man.
have a good one.
See
Good
ya.
stuff there from Chris Franklin here on Birds 365. A big win last night, everybody, on Sunday Night Football. Birds are now winners of 7 straight games. They went 37-20 last night.
7 straight. All is right in Eagles land.
Oh,
Hey,
they're
by the
looking-
way, it's the Battle of Harbaughs. I should have mentioned that tonight.
oh yeah,
You know,
pretty good.
the Ravens are playing Monday night, so they get a short week, and they're playing in Los Angeles,
I know.
and they got to come back. So
Birds
that,
get an
that
extra
should
day
help
on 'em.
that should help the Eagles a little bit as well. Not that it's a long trip, but maybe they can even find the parking lot. Who knows?
Yeah,
It's very
we'll see.
difficult in Baltimore. Get some
There's a couple-
signs, Baltimore.
Yeah. We got a couple more super chats, John, here on the way out. Suo Blaze says, I missed his super. Suo, I apologize for missing it, brother. Johnny Mac's going to love this one. Okay, ready? Suo checks in. Saquon is the best player in the league next to Lamar, and there's no debate. What
Well,
say you, Johnny Mac?
well, anybody who says there's no debate about anything is closed-minded. Yeah, there's a debate. Yeah, he's not the second best player in the league. He's having a great year. I don't know why people need. Same thing with Quinn. Quinyon's the best corner. No, he's not. Do you want to be lied to? I say it all the time. I mean, he's
I
having
agree
a
about
great
Quinyon,
year.
but
He's having a
Saquon's
phenomenal
kinda took the
year.
scale for me on how good he is.
Enjoy it. He's having a phenomenal year. You know, you're going to see a number of players over the next couple weeks. You're going to see Lamar Jackson. You're going to see TJ Watt. You've already gotten to see Myles Garrett. He's on a bad team. He's a better player at his pure position, and nobody would dispute it in the NFL. Nobody would dispute that. Nobody, including Saquon Barkley. Doesn't always have to be the best. Having a great historic game, great season, may even be the MVP. Who cares? I think the goal is the Super Bowl.
It is. It is. And I think he has added an element to this team that makes them ripe to return to the Super Bowl. We will see.
Great
how it-
fit. That's point. Great fit for the Eagles. Howie deserves credit for that one. You know, for all the people that give him shit about Bryce Huff, well, you got to give him credit for Saquon. You got to give him credit for Mekhi Becton. That was a phenomenal signing.
Yeah, really.
Zach
was.
Bond may be the best signing of it all based on money.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Howie did some really good things this offseason. There's no doubt about that. He deserves some credit for sure. One more super chat here. Prince says Saquon came out of the locker room for the second half like mustard. Turn TV off. That's 2 jerseys, Big Z. Big Z mustard. What's his mustard? I think it's his new song. Is there a song or something? I don't get the mustard, but I keep seeing it all over my feeds. I don't know what it means. Somebody's got to alert me to what mustard.
Now I get everybody's focus. So why isn't Landon Dickerson much? Because he's the one who's gets the double block. Why don't you give Big Lando some credit? Why don't you give the big guy some love?
Landon does deserve some credit. Kendrick Lamar, I guess it's a Kendrick. Is it a song? Is that what it is? I don't know.
Give Lando some credit.
John wants to give Lando some mustard. I'm not sure if mustard applies in that in what John's talking about. But
yeah, he came out. But no, I'm only pointing out to you, he came out of the locker room. He came out of the locker room and followed Landon Dickerson. That's what he did. He followed Landon Dickerson 70 yards to pay dirt.
Yeah. No doubt. Saquon had a big day, though, man. Unbelievable.
He had an historic day.
Historic. Really freaking good, man. I know we were going at it on the post-game show, but holy shit, I love watching this dude, man. He's unbelievable to watch. And I know the offensive line deserves a lot of credit. I don't disagree with you about
it's boring.
that.
I get it. People don't care about offensive line.
No. I go all the way back to
when
I care, but the way Saquon hits that hole, I think he's just a next
that
level
was
special.
Howie's greatest quote. I always go back to it. People play it all the time. That's how we roll. When everybody's bitching about taking Cam Jurgens, he said, "That's how we roll. We're always, when it's even, we're always taking the offensive lineman or defensive lineman." When he's talking about the draft, when it's even,
Yeah,
we're always taking the off. That's how we roll, and that's how they do roll.
yeah. Well, it worked out with him for sure. Landon Dickerson, love Landon Dickerson. One more, Suo's trying to piss you off on the way out, John. He said it's not closed-minded, it's facts. Saquon single-handedly won us 6 games. Without him, we're 5-4.
Yeah,
Holy shit!
I would say Sua doesn't know what a fact is. That's your opinion. How about the big drop pass? You could be 10-1. How about that one, Sua? Could be 10-1. By the way, they were
and John.
By the way,
here.
they were 10-1 last year. They were 10-1 the year before, 2022. Were they 10-1? I think they were 10-1.
Yeah, they were 10-1.
Yeah,
They're 19-3 in the last 2 years of their first 10 games of the year, first 11 games.
yeah. This ain't abnormal for the Eagles.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It is. It's impressive what they're doing. Sue, I'm happy you took a couple shots at John because I gave him enough shots last night. I had to take the day. I didn't want to give John any.
Nah, it's fine. I just don't like the hyperbole. You know me. I'm not playing characters. I'm not blowing smoke up people's ass.
I thought Saquon was a great player, John. I'm not even playing a role.
He's a great player.
He's unreal.
He's a great player. The only thing I took issue with you yesterday was he was the best player in the end. That is a ludicrous statement.
Outside of quarterbacks, I think he is this year. Now I know there's offensive linemen and stuff like that.
Oh my God! Well, they don't count?
No, they do, but
on his own poor shitty team, he knows he's not the best player. That's Dexter Lawrence. I mean, there's so many great players in the NFL. Just because fans don't recognize them,
give me Barkley over any fucking running back in the league, John. Any back in the league, give me Barkley.
Well, this year, yeah, certainly. I mean, you can make an argument for Derrick Henry, but certainly, I would take Saquon for this team because he's
team for sure. Yeah.
As amazing as Derrick Henry is, and his speed is unbelievable for his size.
Yeah, it is.
But I would take Saquon for Howie was right. He's a perfect fit for this team. Yeah, he's having a great year, but he's not the best player in the NFL. That's not controversial. That's not even. Whoever said that's not a debate. That's not a debate for anybody in this league. That is not a debate.
Saquon Barkley, baby, I fucking love it.
That's fine. Everybody could like. He's having a great.
He is dominating. No, look, I hear what you're saying.
Miles Garrett exists. He exists.
You know who you don't mention, John? I'll take one more shot at you on the way out the door. You don't mention when you say those names. You never mention Micah Parsons, so you tell me all the time is generational.
Micah Parsons is great. Great. You act like Micah Parsons is nothing.
Oh, no, the Cowboys. I say he's not generational.
The Cowboys are a terrible team when he's not out there, and when he's out there, you're like, oh, geez. You saw him play against the Eagles. The Eagles won the game. They couldn't block Micah Parsons.
He's not generational.
They couldn't block him. I know they can't block Myles Garrett. They know they can't block Myles Garrett.
Yeah, there's 2 guys I think that are generational, and that's Garrett and that's TJ Watt right now. But anyway, I digress. I'm not going to get into that right now. John, great show, man. We got only 164 likes. Are you kidding me, people? We need to get more likes for Saquon Barkley and for
you should have blown some more smoke up their ass today.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe I don't like to do that to the people. I try and always keep it honest and cool. One more from Suo on the way out. So when C-Mac does it, he's the best player in the league. Should have won MVP.
I've never said Christian McCaffrey was the best player in the league. Never remotely came close to saying Christian
Saquon
McCaffrey
a
was
better running back than Christian McCaffrey?
not overall this year. Yeah, I mean, he's been hurt all year. Through their careers, are we really going to have that debate again? That's fucking ludicrous. So you're a slave to the moment?
Give
Yeah,
me fucking Saquon.
the guy's been in Europe getting freaking experimental blood
surgeries.
Yeah, he's kind of beat up. Yes, Saquon's better. To call their careers, I mean, come on. What are we doing? Why you gotta upset me on the way out? What
I'm sorry, John.
Why do people have to? So he has an historic game, one of the greatest games in NFL history. And the 6 years prior don't matter.
Well, he was on the fucking Giants. How much can I blame him for that? That team is so bad.
But we're saying he's had a better career than Christian McCaffrey. I mean,
no, he's obviously not. But they've had different careers. I mean, that's how it is. Now
yes.
that you see them both with a great team, you saw what C-Mac did. You see what Saquon's doing.
Myles Garrett's with a bad team this year, and everybody knows how fucking good Myles Garrett is.
Yeah, but that's a different position. I mean, you as a running back, you got to have a decent offensive line to even have a chance in the NFL.
Well, as I said, and that's how the only thing I took issue with, it's not that he's the best running back this year, not that he even might deserve to be the MVP this year. The only issue is he's the best player in the world.
What about best player in the Eagles? Because that's what I think for sure.
I already told you the best player on the Eagles. So.
You like AJ?
I got multiple people in the building that won't debate that.
John, great show today. I'm feeling a little woozy here. My Whoop, this fitness thing I wear that tells me in my sleep. These are the days I don't like to wear these things because it just reminds you should be tired. Says I'm on 2 hours and 40 minutes. I'm like, holy shit.
Nice.
Good stuff, though. I love it. John, great show today, man. We will talk to you tomorrow on a Tuesday edition of Birds 365. Going to be a different week, everybody, with Thanksgiving, obviously, on Thursday. So we're probably not going to do a full show there, John, on Thursday. I have to figure out what the Thanksgiving schedule is. Might do like a 30-minute hit with you and a 30-minute with Sil. I have to figure out what we're doing on Thanksgiving. We'll do something for content, but probably not going to be live on that full day. So we will see how it all plays out. John, great show today, my man. I will talk to you tomorrow on Birds 365. All right, brother?
All right. Thanks, everybody.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Catch you next time.